Welcome to SAT TV News. I am Larry Larrock, your presenter. In our top stories, police say anything other than EC $65 from Roseau to Marigot and back is illegal. UN mission in Haiti extended for another year. Syria chemical weapon monitors win Nobel Peace Prize. And in sports, Nemesis United record first win. Details of these will follow. Welcome back. In an effort to address the problem of obesity in Dominica, the Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, hosted a two-day overweight and obesity stakeholders workshop. Speaking at the opening ceremony, which took place on Thursday, October 10th, Acting Coordinator of the Health Promotion Resource Center, Mrs. Anfilia James, highlighted the importance of the workshop, stating that obesity's negative effect on health continues to affect Dominica's economy.
The determinants of health of obesity, like any other lifestyle disease, is related to conditions which are varied conditions and complex conditions. Therefore, actions to prevent and manage obesity must be addressed in multiple settings and should involve multiple stakeholders, to include sectors, as I said already, agriculture, trade, finance, UN civil society, and some of the other sectors that I did not mention. This underscores the fact that benefits of intervention to obesity involving multiple stakeholders would be more effective than just in one sector, which is the Ministry of Health, as we are accustomed to see. It involves all of us.
She noted, during the workshop they will review current evidence related to obesity and being overweight in Dominica. They also reviewed and assessed successful intervention strategies while developing recommendations for promoting prevention and management in all sectors for being overweight and obese. Advisor on chronic diseases from the Pan American Health Organization, Dr. Tomo Kanda, explained, finding out the causes of obesity in Dominica is vital to combating it.
When we talk about NCD issue in the Caribbean, we must be proud of achievement of Port of Spain Declaration 2007, which is heads of the government. But we have to also think about more carefully. Caribbean region, we have a strong political will and commitment by showing sign of ratification of offshore document. But are we really translating those political will commitment into actual implementation? This is still doubt. So why we cannot make this transition? This is a serious issue and we really have to think about how best we can translate political will commitment into actual implementation.
According to Dr. Kanda, Dominica is one of the few Caribbean countries that is going to conduct a second-year surveys on obesity, so there is data on the subject. However, she questioned whether or not we are making strides in solving the problem.
So we have to think about what are we missing? What if we are not making any better improvement. Maybe Kako, we are not making good job for the countries. This is a serious issue for us. That's why for this 2 days meeting, we want to discuss how best we as a Bajo and the Dominica team can really make a real change. And the third, once we identify drivers and reason behind, we have to think about how best we can implement those things, which is whole of government, multi-sector approach. This is so easy to say. In the document, various NCD documents say whole of government approach, multi-sector approach is important. It's very easy, but reality is it's so difficult. Why it's difficult? Because everybody must have feeling. Everybody must have a feeling of owner, the plan of action or activity or strategy.
It is hoped that specific strategies will be formulated on effectively dealing with overweight and obesity problems in Dominica. In other stories, in an attempt to increase knowledge on oral health and how it impacts the total well-being of an individual, Jolly's Pharmacy, in a collaborative effort with the Ministry of Health, hosted a week of activities which ended on Friday, October 11th. During the activities, several primary schools participated in an essay competition on oral health under the theme, Unite for a World of Healthy Smiles. According to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Mrs. Helen Roye, the message has gone out about Fruit Day in keeping with oral hygiene.
Just yesterday, my niece called and reminded me, she's just about 13 years, and told me, Auntie, remember tomorrow is National Fruit Day. Do you have your fruits? And she said she was told so at the high schools. When I went to church on Sunday, the message was read. So sometimes we work and we think that we are not getting results. It might take time, it might be incremental, but persons are listening and persons are responding.
Although there is still the need for cooperation from parents, the week of events receive a lot of attention and cooperation from the public. Jalen Etienne of the Bellevue Primary School was the first place winner of the essay competition.
Do you know that your oral health is an indication of how healthy you are and that problems in your mouth can affect the rest of your body? They are like breath to life. Hence, it stands to reason that oral health is the gateway to overall health. We will now explore the connection between the two and highlight what can be done to protect one from the effects of poor oral practices.
Second place went to the Salisbury Primary School, while the Roosevelt Douglas Primary School received third place. The Ministry of Health thanked the dental team for this initiative. In more news, Minister of Tourism and Legal Affairs and the parliamentary representative for the Portsmouth constituency, Honorable Ian Douglas, says construction for the Moroccan-funded hotel in the second town of Portsmouth is progressing efficiently.
All of the concrete works on the project is actually finished as I speak to you. The roof is also completed. The guys are working now on the ceiling and other things like electricals and plumbing. The tiling will begin very soon. Also, you should probably see some painting being done probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And things like the swimming pool and the grounds will come as we go, as we approach probably the end of the year. We're very happy with the way that the project is moving so far. Of course, next week we'll have the possible management team of the hotel coming down to have more detailed discussions with a team of persons from the Invest Dominica Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Discover Dominica Authority to see if we can reach a happy medium as far as what the government would want and the management team, what exactly we can expect from them.
This is important, he said, as it is not the government's intention to manage the hotel when completed. According to Mr. Douglas, to move the tourism industry to the next level, infrastructures including hotels with export-ready rooms that meet international standards are important.
Also, the small business unit, which is in the Ministry of Trade, have also begun conducting some training for a number of young persons, about 40 young persons right now in the Portsmouth area in hospitality, because of course we will need the trained and skilled persons to be working in the hotel as front desk managers, backroom operations, chefs, bartenders, the works of all of the various professions and skills that will be required for the running of the hotel. So we're doing a number of things simultaneously, so that when the physical construction is actually complete, we could see a smooth transition into the actual operating of the Cadbury's Hotel and Spa.
The 50-room hotel will comprise of 7 major buildings, including a conference facility to accommodate 200 people, duty-free shops, a gym, and a spa. When the hotel becomes fully operational, at least 100 Dominicans will be fully employed. In more news, Police Public Relations Officer Inspector John Carbon says anything over $65 as it relates to the fare from Roseau to the Melville Airport in Marigot is illegal. This statement comes in response to reports that taxi drivers who currently charge $80 for that route are looking to increase the price.
I am aware that the fees from the airport as well as the public transportation, it's governed by the Transport Board. If the fees or the fares have to be changed, then it would have to come through the board to the minister. That is the minister responsible for public works.
Mr. Carbon noted, if the minister approves the raise in the fare, it would then have to go to cabinet for approval.
If the fees have not been changed or regulated by the board, then it is illegal to just change the fees.
Despite what taxi drivers may persuade the public to believe, Mr. Carbon made it very clear that there is no night and day fee from Roseau to Melvin Hall. Based on the regulations of the Transport Board, of which Chief of Police Daniel Carbon is the chairman, there is only a standard fee of EC $65 from Melvin Hall Airport to Roseau and back.
I spoke with a member of the Taxi Association, and they were trying to justify the action by saying that from Roseau to Melvin Hall to Roseau, it is through Poncassi, but there is nothing stating as to through which route. So if they would have to charge any additional fee, they would have to make a recommendation to the Transport Board and who would take it from there. But anything other than the stipulated fee, it is illegal.
Commuters, he added, should ensure they know the legal fee and are to report to the police anytime they are charged above that fee. In other stories, a workshop launched in an effort to promote safety and health in Dominica. The Occupational Health and Safety and Security Training Program held at the WOW headquarters has officially closed. The 3-day program was designed to give an overview of occupational safety, health and security in Dominica.
Because you need to keep your management on their toes in terms of ensuring that they provide you with the necessary health and safety conditions in the workplace. You were taught about noise. You were taught about dust. You were taught about ergonomics. All these are areas that you, as members of the unions, can help the management in terms of providing.
Mr. Augustus urged the members to help their officers and organizations to guide the provisions set out in their labor agreements in relation to occupational safety and health. Companies, he said, can provide funds towards the education of employees at occupational workshops.
I think that we'll probably have to do like we did some years ago, and to negotiate into collective labor agreements a provision for management to contribute a certain sum towards education, whereby we can educate our members and not have to ask the management to give you the time off with pay. We will ask that they give you the time off. But if we have sufficient in terms of the build-up of funds to be able to pay you during the time that you are being trained. That would be a good thing.
Sponsorships will be best, he explained, to aid in the furtherance of these programs, as the funds generated through the union is insufficient to be able to provide workshops on a regular basis. In other stories, the FIFA World Cup trophy on Monday, October 14th, will arrive here in Dominica after being chosen as a destination for the FIFA World Cup Trophy Tour hosted by Coca-Cola. The FIFA World Cup trophy has become the most sought after and recognized sports prize in the world and can be considered as universally unique to the sport of football.
Next week Monday, there will be something exciting happening in Dominica. It's historic. It's for the first time ever, and it has to do with Coca-Cola, our flagship brand, where the FIFA World Cup trophy for the very first time will be landing in Dominica next week Monday. And we plan a major press conference for that, and of course have a viewing for the public. The World Cup trophy, the FIFA World Cup trophy, the tour is sponsored by Coca-Cola. So they will be visiting over 100 countries this year. The last World Cup, they visited 86 countries. And this is the very first time that the World Cup trophy, which is solid gold, will be landing in Dominica.
Coca-Cola has been a long-term valued partner of FIFA, who together have organized 2 global editions of the Trophy Tour. We saw the iconic solid gold trophy visit 31 countries in 2006 and 85 between 2009 and 2010. The next World Cup will be hosted in Brazil in 2014. And in court news, a sum of $75,000 has been set for 2 individuals on bail. Both individuals face charges of possession of cocaine and intend to supply 4,500 grams of the illegal drug. Kurt Ambo of Woodfordale and Keith Bruno Williams of Maho each pleaded not guilty to both charges. The drugs carry an estimated street value of $117,000. The prosecution had no objection to bail. However, attorney Don Yearwood Stewart told Magistrate Bernard Paquette she was not ready to make a bail application. The defendants were remanded and the matter is set for February 27, 2014 at the Portsmouth Magistrates Court. Yearwood Stewart and Wayne Nordy represent both defendants. In more court, Erwin Jamal George has been found guilty of causing grievous bodily harm to his ex-girlfriend Kim Peterson of Canefield, but not guilty on causing grievous bodily harm with intent. Both charges were brought against George and his current girlfriend, Olan Mulo, who was found not guilty on both counts. The incident was reported to have taken place in the vicinity of KFC on the 29th of October 2010. According to Ms. Peterson, she had poured a Marketing Stout on George's head after he refused to let go of her hand as she passed alongside his vehicle. After doing so, she claimed to have been punched in the face, hit in her chest, and dragged on the sidewalk by George before Miss Muller kicked and punched her in the face. Dr. Hazel Shillingford Ricketts, who examined Miss Peterson on 3 occasions, said she kept complaining of seeing double and was experiencing bleeding from her nostrils. George, who will remain on bail, will return to court on November 6 for sentencing. Justice Bernie Stevenson has ordered a pre-sentencing report on the defendant. Wayne Nordy represented George, while Peter Allen represented Miss Muller. This is the second trial of the September criminal assizes ongoing at the High Court. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.